transparent, people are cooperative, and that's what my focus is.
Do you feel that if they're by President Ammons being suspended or stepping down, that's the only way to have a thorough investigation?
What I believe is that today the right thing for the president to do, the right thing for the university to do, is ask him to step aside during the investigation and let the investigation proceed, and then the board should make a decision afterwards.
Governor, Senator Joyner has already put out a statement criticizing your move, and said she even basically said that you didn't step down as the head of HCA Columbia until well into the investigation, and so she says you should afford the same courtesy to President Ammons. But as the follow-up, so it quickly looked like this is becoming very political, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on the idea that you may find yourself getting a political controversy on your hands on top of just the issues that you've already identified.
Well, the way I think about my job is to make the right decision for the state of Florida and for the citizens of the state. And I believe that this is the right decision for the state. It's the right decision for FAMU, and that's what my job is. I'm going to continue to do that.
Going back to clemency, you seem to have brought up a regularity of individuals receiving voter registration. What did you make of that?
Well, it's these are individuals that are asking for a registration of their civil rights, and you want to you would like to give it to individuals that want to comply with the law. It's disappointing when people don't comply with the law, and so you're trying to understand why people are going out and voting illegally. That's not right that they're voting illegally, and it's one of the factors that I take into consideration when I make my decision whether I move to grant restoration of civil rights or deny it.
What I was referring to, though, was that they were being sent voter registration forms.
I know. I was surprised about that. I didn't, so I'm going to ask more about that to understand why that's happening and if it's continuing to happen.
Governor, I'll just go back to unemployment. What was your first reaction? Did you high-five Lane or whatever when you saw the numbers, or what were your thoughts?
Well, I usually, Cynthia Lorenzo. So I always talk to Cynthia Lorenzo and congratulate her on what a good job she did for the month. And then I generally talk to Grace Swope about congratulate him, because I think we've changed the direction of the state, and I think we've changed the perception of the state. The way I sort of think about, I always thought about business was you work hard, and then you sort of become an overnight success. People finally see that the things that you worked on do work. I think the same thing's going to happen for the state of Florida. I think the fact that we have put ourselves in a position that we are different than a lot of the country. We have not having an income tax is a benefit. Knowing people that we're focused on reducing the business tax, looking at we've already done it once. We're focused on continuing to do that. Looking at other taxes that might have an impact, or have an impact on people make a decision to come here, doing the trade missions. On top of the fact that we have our great beaches and our great weather, and we're very focused on higher ed. And it's helpful that states like Illinois and New York and Connecticut are raising their taxes. It's really separating us, and so I think that what's happening is, everyone now understands that there is a difference. If you come to Florida, there's predictability, and I think they see that we have a AAA credit rating. They see that we're paying down our debt. They're seeing that the individuals that are running agencies will, tell them what. If they ask a question, are using their best interest to say, this is what the law is. If they're asking if they need to have a permit, telling them what's the process, yes or no. So I think the state is being run in a manner that business people are feeling more comfortable that this is a place they can long-term do business. I also think that over time, the trade missions we've done 4 now, and the one I just got back from Israel, I think all those over time are going to have a positive impact on the state. So I think it's a accumulation of a lot of things, but it's clearly having a positive impact, which is on top of this. If you look at those numbers, 134,000 people, additional private sector jobs. Those are families. Those are individuals. Those are people that needed a job and their family. It changes the dynamic of their family. Nobody that I know of has ever wanted to be on unemployment. They want to have a job, and so I'm excited for everybody.
Governor, one thing that's important with economic development is transportation projects. Those took a big hit in your budget proposal because of, in large part, declining gas tax revenues. Do you think the state needs to come up with some other way to finance the upgrading of our infrastructure that doesn't rely on gas taxes?
Well, I think here's what we're working on. We're looking at things like, and we started with the project in West Jacksonville, where we have they're paid by. We'll be able to do the construction based on the tolls that we'll be able to collect. I want to continue to look at that. Look at adding user lanes where people pay if they want to go in a faster lane. Where people still have the opportunity, if they don't want to pay it, they can stay in the existing lanes. But look at that. So I think there's going to be a big opportunity. As I've traveled and talked to people, especially there was interest in companies in Israel, and there's other places in Brazil, where there's companies that are willing to finance highway construction, and so we're having discussions like that. I think there should be a big opportunity there.
So public-private partnerships?
Yeah, where the private sector wants to fund a project, because we have limited resources, and they'll get paid based on the usage, and they take the risk of whether the roads will be used enough to pay for that or not. I think that's positive for the state.
So are you advancing any projects along those lines, or is that just a discussion phase?
Well, I mean, there's discussions going on, but I believe that over the next year we'll have a lot of projects like that.
Governor, you just got back from Israel. I wanted to get your reaction to that several Jewish groups are condemning comments of the U.S. Representative Alan West, likening Democrats to Nazi propagandists. And I was wondering if you thought that was an appropriate analogy.
I don't want to comment on what somebody else says. I can just tell you I had a great trip to Israel. The day I got there, I had the opportunity to go to the Western Wall, and it was, anybody that's been there, it's a moving experience. I did it on Shabbat, that Friday night, and there's a lot of young military individuals there. There are a lot of individuals that were praying, but I also got I got to do a tour on Saturday of Jerusalem, and then I met with a lot of individuals that have an interest in doing business in Florida. I had the opportunity to give be part of a panel at a big economic development or economic conference there, the Globe Conference. So I'm optimistic that we'll have more business between Israel and Florida. Going forward, there is all the reasons why. If you think about our state, we have already a lot of relationships with Israel. There's 750,000 Jewish Floridians in the state that are very supportive. Many of them are extremely supportive of Israel. They know that the way to make Israel stronger is by helping their economy, and part of that is doing more business between Florida and Israel.
To that end, do you think that using Nazi rhetoric in the political dialogue is going to aid the assistance of our relationship with Israel or help relationships with Jewish voters?
Well, I'm not going to comment on how somebody else, that's not what I do.
Let me go back to last night. Were you surprised at the vehemence of the students that were there and their passion?
Oh gosh, I think whatever the issue is, I like the fact that in the sort of what's happening in the state, people are active. I think that I like people to get active. I wish more people are active in what's going on. So, and you learn from all of it. It's helpful if you're the governor to talk to individuals that have a passion about what's going on. You learn things.
Sounds like you're issuing an invitation to people to come and speak their mind.
I sort of do that. I mean, one thing, when I do the